heyday, Suikoden was one of the most widely appreciated RPG franchises of its kind. Fans enjoyed the characters, story, combat system, and especially the huge cast of 108 characters in each title. Unfortunately though, most of the hype the Suikoden series enjoyed died off by the late 2000s, and Suikoden 5 was the last mainline title to be released. Konami attempted to rectify this in two ways. First, through Suikoden Tear Cries on the Nintendo DS, and second, through Suikoden Woven Web of the Centuries on PSP. Released in 2012, the latter was the last Suikoden game ever released, but there was one major problem. It was never released in North America. Thankfully for all of us, this hurdle has been overcome through a full English translation patch, compliments of Twisted Phoenix game translation. It was released in late 2021 and allows non-Japanese speakers their chance to experience what otherwise would have been a lost relic of Suikoden's past. Additionally, you can download an HD texture package to give the game a much more modern appearance for higher resolution, and that is what I did for all the footage in this video. For combat, Suikoden Woven Web of the Centuries embraces the series' traditional system of 6 character parties, which are arranged in a 3x3 grid much like Suikoden 1 and 2. The rune system is dropped entirely, and unlike Suikoden Tear Cries, the Mark of Stars system doesn't exist either. Instead, both skills and magic are inherent to specific classes, with each character belonging to one of 8 of these classes. Throughout your journey, you can share specific skills between characters of the same class. Also, Suikoden Woven Web of the Centuries features a friendship level system where building a relationship between characters can amplify the damage done by their unite attacks and unlock subclasses. The friendship level of the characters is changed throughout conversational choices and by placing 2 characters together to dine in your headquarters. Of all the game's aspects, I have to give credit to Konami for this one, as it really was a unique concept I haven't seen utilized in any other RPG, and I have played my fair share. There are also several other factors that distinguish this one from the other Suikoden games as well. For the first time, enemies appear on screen and battles only transpire when you touch them, similar to how this works in games like Chrono Trigger and Super Mario RPG. Additionally, there isn't a free-roaming world map, you can just navigate to various nodes. What's more is that you don't even roam around through towns or your headquarters, you just select nodes there to move as well. This honestly was extremely limiting and made the game feel less explorative than the rest. Also, just like in Tear Cries, Woven Web of the Centuries doesn't have the army battles or any one-on-one duels, both of which were memorable fixtures of the franchise that were just abandoned. Also, as in Tear Cries, Woven Web of the Centuries takes place within the Million World multiverse, so there are thematic similarities, but it doesn't exist in the same continuity of the mainline titles. In this one, you play as an unnamed hero who is a young swordsman from Therbay Village. He learned a special fighting technique called the Blue Flash style from his mother, who was killed when the hero was younger at the hands of soldiers from the Ionian Empire. His father was a legendary hero named Torwald who saved the world from a centennial monster that appears every 100 years. As the story progresses, the hero is thrown into a conflict with the Ionian Empire, and eventually discovers a mysterious tree whose branches stretch out through the ages and allow for time travel to the past. So yeah, this game incorporates time travel for the first time in the Suikoden universe, and you actually recruit the 108 Stars of Destiny in different points of time. It's a bit of an odd but bold choice that doesn't really match the themes and spirit of the previous entries. The only downside of recruitment in this one is that there are only 18 total playable characters, which was a much smaller percentage than some of the other Suikoden games. Woven Web of the Centuries is also filled with animated cutscenes. These aren't dubbed into English, but there are subtitles, and I'm definitely grateful for this decision because I think it's the best choice. Nothing has turned me off more to localizations than bad English voice dubs, so this one doesn't fall into that trap. The soundtrack for this game was created by Seiichi Takamoto, who wasn't involved in the music for any of the previous Suikoden soundtracks from what I can tell. He didn't have nearly as much acclaim as some of the other composers that produced music for the series, and had no experience prior to this one with RPGs of any kind. Even so, I think he did a great job, and this is a quality score that redeems Woven Web of the Centuries to some extent. When it comes down to it, Suikoden Woven Web of the Centuries is a mixed bag. If you're looking for Suikoden 6, you won't find it here, but it's still a good RPG. It uses some concepts that were daring and risky, but not all of them paid off. Dropping duels, army battles, and even the rune system so familiar to fans were bad choices in my mind. Even still, the soundtrack is great, and the characters and story are at least somewhat interesting. I also like the graphical presentation far more than Suikoden Tear Cries, and the battle animations for both the characters and the enemies were much better and more realistic. Woven Web of the Centuries will certainly scratch the old school RPG itch, and the translation and texture package are both great, but the title still doesn't epitomize the best the Suikoden series had to offer. So, what do you think? Have you played Suikoden Woven Web of the Centuries yet? If so, do you think it rises to the standards of the rest of the series? If not, let me know what looks interesting about it to you. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell for more retro gaming content, and please join my Discord community linked in the description. Also, please consider supporting my channel via YouTube's Join feature to receive member bonuses, like advanced videos and complete video transcripts.